But I have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
Going to be the bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I learned my lesson from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day.
I'm going to give you a favor, James. I just say later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like one of our draw streams, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Woo! Yes, guys. Yes, it is Sunday. You know what that means? That means another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their books and their campaigns. Because frankly, I'm kind of done with mainstream. Mainstream bores me. And indie is where the passion is. All right. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and a great Sunday. I'm on vacation officially. So I have a regular job and then I have vacation, but I'm still working every day. There's always stuff to do. There are things to write. There's packages to ship out, and there are campaigns to build up slowly. We're starting again because we are working right now on Perfect 10, book 6, and it's the last issue of this series, guys. This is nuts. So I've been advised to continue the series, so because people like it, and it's a little bit like weird to end a series that basically put JMA Comics on the map, and I need to think about that, what I want to do after this, because I have so many books that I still want to make from different characters and different titles. So we'll have to find out what is best. But for now, issue 6, the last issue of Perfect 10, it's coming, guys. And the cover is done. So Pau and Daniel, they made a wonderful cover, and I will show that at the end of this stream. So you will get the first peek at the cover. Oh, and it's like 36 degrees here today, so it's it's fairly warm. I read that it was 26 degrees in the United Kingdom, and these people were dying. So it's pretty warm, but so we stay inside with the air conditioning. Anyway, thank you all for showing up, guys. Thank you all. So we had Soul Iron showing up. Welcome, Soul Iron. Welcome, sir. And he is sharing the link of today's campaign. This is the campaign we'll be talking about, and it's pinned in the chat. It's in the description of this video. If you want to check it out already, please do. And the madness, hey yo, the madness makes it all possible. We're streaming through the madness right now, so multiple platforms. So thank you, Madness, for making that happen. Then we have Crenshaw. Welcome, Crenshaw. Hello, Dave and chat pals. Housework, coffee with Irish cream, and a drink with Brink. Sounds great. Sounds a great, like a great combination. Welcome, Crenshaw. Welcome. And then we have Mike. Welcome, Mike. Good day and drink to you, top comic creator. You have been to me for a long time, my friend. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Can't wait for that cover. Yeah, in 50 minutes. 50 minutes, then I'll show it. Welcome, Mike. And then we have Bristolian Dave. We are dying. Yeah, I read something like that. Wow, it's multiple factors, right? I also think when you're there, there's a lot of atmospheric differences than we have here, and so when the temperature is a bit lower, it feels like warmer. I don't know, but I hope you guys are doing well. So keep hydrated, Mr. Bristolian Dave. 50th Underground, welcome, sir. Welcome. Hey, Dave, looking forward to the cover preview. Yes, I'm looking forward to show it to you guys. I'm so proud of it. So proud of you guys. The soul still burns. It does. Let me see. Let me see if I missed anyone. I don't want to miss anyone, guys. Here's the link again for today's campaign that we're talking about. Right. And man says, congrats for #1, Dave. Perfect 10 rolls on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you all for being here. Let's bring on the guest of the hour. So let's bring on the guest. We were talking backstage. I couldn't remember if he was on the show before, right? We've been on shows together. On other shows, we couldn't really tell, but this is show 180, guys. I can't remember everything. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on, guys. It's time for the wonderful guest of today. Let's see if I have everything. I do. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay. It's time. Here we go. May I have a warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Chris Fisk.
Hey.
Woo!
Yeah.
There he is, man. Finally.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Oh, okay. Before I ask any official questions, I need to start with the first one. I can't see, but I trust you, Mr. Chris Fisk. What are you drinking right now?
Oh, this is gonna sound so super lame. It's a little bougie here. Fiji artesian water.
Fiji artesian water. What's that?
Yeah.
Just water with a little
Yeah, it's overpriced water in a bottle because the tap here is toxic. But my kidneys don't allow me to drink anything but water now. So that's it for me.
Are you serious? You can't drink anything but water?
Yeah. Medical stuff is fun, but water can taste good.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
No worries.
So you have so what you drink is basically water in 100 different.
Yeah, I know. I spice it up by getting interesting shaped bottles.
Yeah.
I can't get the flavor to change, but at least I can get the bottle to change.
Oh yeah. Oh man. All right. I don't want to miss anyone in the chat. I think I'm still up to date. All right, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's it's the dumb American in me. My Fahrenheit to centigrade or Celsius is a little off, but it's about I'd say it's about 90 degrees here.
90 degrees. So, that sounds warm.
Yeah. What is it? Hace mucho calor. Yeah. Yeah.
Crenshaw says I'm a Crystal Geyser guy myself.
Ooh.
Is that a brand or a
I think so, yeah.
Crystal Geyser?
Yeah. There's some it's weird because all the BPAs and the microplastics and stuff, some water is better than others because of the quality of the plastic they use for their bottled water, and I think Crystal Geyser has one of the higher quality plastics.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
I could be wrong though.
Nowadays, you'd think they would regulate all of that, you know?
Oh
but
yeah.
they do. Right? Yeah.
Well, look at our FDA. I mean, they're criminally like they allow poisons into American diet that like over in the Netherlands they'd be like, yeah, no, this is not allowed.
Well, you know, I stopped trusting everything, you know. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
so, yeah. Even bottled water, I'm like, yeah, is that healthy? Is that cool?
Yeah. Is there fluoride in this?
Yeah. What did they put in there? These bastards.
Yeah.
Spring water from the fawns of the hill dwarfs here.
Ooh.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Infinitale Chronicles. I have to say that I receive a lot of campaigns. I browse through many campaigns. I back a lot of like usually comic books, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And of all campaigns, of all creators, of all like books, I think your material is one of the most well designed
Oh,
products.
thank you.
So
Wow. Thanks.
so this has to do, I think, with your profession. It's what. So where does that come from?
It's probably a combo of when I worked in video game development. You know, like there's you know, and when I lived in Japan, like there's a very intrinsic superficiality to entertainment media where it's not so much the product that counts, it's the packaging and the presentation of that product. You know, like when I lived in Japan, I found out it's very rude to receive or hand something to somebody with one hand. Especially in
Okay.
like a business transaction or a formal, like when you give your business card or, you know, even you purchase something and you're at the till and they hand it to you, like you have to take it with both hands. But
Right.
there's
You give
also,
it with one hand. You have to take it with both.
yep. And then yeah, just like I did the wrong thing and I entered the gift giving war with the Japanese. Everybody is guaranteed to lose against the Japanese when it comes to gift giving war because I keep upping the ante. It's like at one point, you know, you just hand them the keys to your, you know, the car, just like, yeah, I went into major debt, but here. But no, like part of that gift giving though is like it's very rude to just like throw something in a bag and hand it to them, or vice versa. So you know, it's part of like it kind of made me appreciate that experience of when you buy something or when you receive something. There's a part of the package that a lot of us overlook, or part of that experience that a lot of us overlook, which is, you know, the reception of it and then the initial revelation, you know, when you're unwrapping the gift, so to speak, you know, there's a whole part of that exciting energy that we seem to forget because it's so ephemeral, like it's so short-lived, but it's so important because it's your first impression of that product. And I think that's why I put a lot of focus on that, is because I want people to be super jazzed. Like I want it to feel like Christmas morning, you know, they slide under the Christmas tree and it's like, oh, look at this, you know. So that's kind of where my packaging designs come from. Plus, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that. I was here's a sad story. It's you know, I joke about it, but when I was a kid, you remember Masters of the Universe?
Sure.
So I was the weird kid, and this is before eBay or before any of that stuff. This is like the early 80s.
Yeah.
I always asked for like my birthday or whatever duplicates of the Masters of the Universe figures. And they're like, you're weird, you know, like that's a weird thing to ask for. They're like, why would you want two of everything? I'm like, well, because one I want to pull out of the package and play with, but the other one I want to leave in the package, you know, those like blister packs, and I'd like thumbtack them to the wall. And I had this entire display of like the first generation of Masters of the Universe all on my wall with thumbtacks.
Wow.
And, one day I come home from school and I look, like we had a side door that you enter through the house, and this long hallway, and at the end of the hallway was my bedroom, and I could look in through the open door of my bedroom and see on the wall on my Masters Universe. And one day I came home from school and it was a bare wall, and I was like, what the hell? I come running in there, it's like, where are all my figures? Ah, you know. And I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and you know, my mother's there, and she's like, well, you weren't playing with them, so we gave them away, and we tossed the ones that we couldn't give.
What? Oh no.
So yeah, that's why she's in a home.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
back then it was traumatizing, but more so later on when you learned how much these things could be worth.
Yeah,
Potentially,
well,
right?
yeah, but like part of like the thing that I loved about the reason why I wanted the duplicates is because I loved the packaging so much. Like they had
Yeah.
this like red explosion behind them, and it was that like it was more exciting the moment you were about to purchase it and bringing it, to the front of the store, or when you just got it in your hands. I found that it was more exciting then than it was after you pulled it out of the box and were playing with it. So I
Right.
wanted to capture that moment.
Right.
So it's a weird, like I know it's weird. It's not something that like normal kids would be like, dude, what are you talking about, dude? We're just gonna go blow up some GI Joes,
Mhm.
Like, but yeah, I don't know. I loved like graphic design, package design, and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean I took university credits for it and all that stuff. Went into marketing, but ultimately, yeah, I went into a completely different direction when I went into video games because oh boy,
Wow.
but yeah.
Well, says that escalated quickly.
Yes, it did, mother.
It did. Welcome, Eastlyn. Welcome. She says, "Hi, Dave. Say hi to your boss." I will.
Oh.
He's sleeping right now. I will. All right. Soline says it's also the only campaign with a holofoil KD card from our girl Niriam Noah. Shows
yeah.
that Fisk has an eye for quality and good people.
Oh boy, yeah. If you're a Niriam fan, this is
I
definitely
am.
Yeah, so she not only was the very first person that ever did fan art for me. She like one day out of the blue DM'd me and she's like, "Hey, keep your eye out in the mail. I sent you something." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And lo and behold, I got this. I think it was like a 12 by 18 or like 11 by 14 black and white image of one of the characters, Queen Aisling. And I loved it so much. I got it hanging on my wall, but I also scanned it in, I colored it myself and made it a holofoil card.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy when people send you like fan art and stuff like that.
Yeah. Dude, you should know about that. I've seen all this stuff. You're probably like, whoa. Like, I know who that character is. That's 10.
But yeah, I know Niriam. Our following books, most of our following books will have like logos made by her.
Oh, cool.
Like we're working on Safeguard, and the logo of Safeguard she made.
Wow.
Really, really cool. She's very, very talented.
Yeah, she in fact, if you're a fan of Niriam, you'll also be kind of excited to see that everybody that's backed a book gets a free 40-page black and white preview of book 3 done completely by Niriam.
What?
Yeah.
So for this campaign, if people back this campaign,
yep,
they get a free extra book, basically.
A free extra book of the next book in the series, and it's the first chapter, and it's 40 pages in black and white, and it's all Niriam's artwork.
40 pages. That's bigger than the average like crowdfunded book.
That's right.
That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of it was because it took so long to get this second campaign out there that I kind of wanted to ensure people that they wouldn't have that much of a hiatus between the next books. And yeah, 40 pages, man. Like the book 2 is 120 pages. So yeah.
What's the wait? Before we continue, blister packs gone is home. Decades later, the league would call that justice.
Yes. That's right, mother.
Welcome, Cosmonaut Comics.
Hey, Marinus.
Marinus, guys, go subscribe to Cosmonaut Comics for daily comic book reviews.
Oh yeah.
And he reviews everything, so mainstream, but also indie.
Oh yeah.
Right. So yeah, but yeah, you want like the book to be a experience, and because we do crowdfunding, the entire process around the book has to like be a extension of the book, right? So so the experience is the way the campaign looks, the way it functions, but also the package you will receive, and when you receive it, right? Everything. So So how long do you work towards a campaign? You said there was more time than you wanted between the first book and the second one, right?
Yeah. I mean, ideally for me, it's about a year or year and a half that I want for a book, because again, it's 120 pages. You're getting
Yeah.
a graphic novel, you know.
Yes.
So you know that usually affords me enough time to get the book, commission the art, and then get it through my proofreaders' hands. Because that to me is the most important part, is getting it through proofreaders' hands and having them tear it to shreds. So that by the time it gets out there and I'm asking people for money, I get fewer and fewer like negative experiences.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Mike says, Cosmic Comics, you still need to read Perfect 10 issue 5 so that we can talk about the team of Safeguard and its upcoming cover.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, if you wait long enough, Marinus, you can do like a double stream with issue 6 because we're working on that right now.
Yeah.
And we are like putting together the first trade. So our very first trade paperback also, which is like fantastic. So Chris, you started first off, how did you get into games? So you were art director, you said?
Yeah, I've done art direction for when I was working for a company that was contracted out by Ubisoft. It was like a mobile Assassin's Creed game, and yeah, it was an interesting task, because I basically created all of these like collages. It was almost like what they call a kit bash, where you go on Google Image and you're like, okay, I like this design here, this there, you know, and we sent it out. We actually had to go to a translator first. So one of my coworkers, she spoke Mandarin, got it all translated for our sweatshops over in China, and sent it to them, and then they would come back and we'd be like, yeah, Robin Hood isn't Chinese. We got to redo this.
All right.
Yeah.
So was that your dream to work in the game industry? Or did you somehow like get there?
Yeah, I do. Like, I loved video. Like my first experience, my true first experience with good video games was the Sega Master System, the 8-bit, you know, the Mach 3 or whatever it was called in Japan. But that was kind of like the epiphany moment, where it was like, as a kid, I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I was just like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. You know, I want to make cool games. I want to tell cool stories. And yeah, I went through school or whatever, and I ended up, went through university, and unfortunately up here in New Hampshire, they were poorly equipped for anything at the time in the 90s when I was attending. Anything to do with like video games or animation or 3D modeling or any of that stuff. In fact, my university I went to, I actually put on a presentation for the art department with my computer, my roommate's computer, and somebody else's, with all the pirated software that I had for like 3D Studio Max and all that stuff. And I was like, see guys, let's get a class with this, like, and all this stuff. And, it was partially the reason why I went to university. It was because I was getting really tired of trying to translate German tutorials for pirating. I was like, I want a professor to teach me. This is hard. Mein Deutsch ist schlechten. So I went through all that, and I ended up, fortunately, with all the money that you spend in university and stuff, it was like, yay, psychology degree, but not graphic design or whatever. So I ended up leaving that, and I went into the workforce, and I kind of put aside that whole dream career stuff. I did it for about 6.5 years. I was working for a newspaper, and I did layout, I did magazine, like all the stuff, image cropping and toning, pre-press work, and it was kind of like depressing. I was in my 20s. I felt like I was in my 50s. All my peers were in their 40s and 50s, so I was like, wow, like I'm gonna age faster than I should. And one day I was talking with one of my friends that I had met in university, and I was like, dude, this is, if we're going to do something stupid and crazy and be able to get away with it, this is the moment. Like we're old enough, to do it, but young enough to not have all the responsibilities of kids and a family. So we ended up saving up some money, and we went down to San Jose, California for the Game Developers Conference. And I met a whole bunch of people there. I started working on what they call mods game modifications, Quake 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we spent years messing around with that stuff, got cool connections there or whatever. And then one day I reached out to some of the people I met there from Offset Software. They're originally on some other game for some other studio, but they had left, and they're like, we're doing a startup. And I'm like, oh boy, a startup, I want to do that. That's my dream job. So I packed up my life and literally flew as far in the continental United States from New Hampshire as you could get, which was Irvine, California. And
Wow.
I threw caution to the wind, which was, good or bad. And I worked in a startup there for about 3 months. And then our publisher, Namco Bandai, dropped us like a bad habit. Just one day, just said, nope, American games aren't profitable. We're not publishing you anymore. And I'm like, my stuff is still in transit from New Hampshire. Like, I'm sleeping on an air mattress. What do you mean? Like, so... Sorry.
So did you rent a house there or something?
Yeah, I got an apartment, and
Right.
I was waiting for my stuff to arrive, so I was like sleeping on an air mattress, and yeah, it was the ultimate bachelor pad. And
Wow.
yeah, I ended up after all that kind of scary business, Red 5 Studios, who was founded by Mark Kern there, Grums on Twitter. He's a former bigwig.
Grums.
Yeah, he's a former bigwig over at Blizzard. Started up his own company, Red 5, and he ended up he had designs to acquire the engine that the Offset guys were working on, the startup that I was on, and he ended up. He's like, look, I'll keep your company afloat by contracting out your employees so that you don't have to let them all go, while you shop around your game essentially. To other publishers. And it got to the point where I was like, I kind of like Red 5. Like, the people at Red 5 are a lot cooler. Like, nobody was like insulting me, because it was when you're in a small startup or whatever, it's a bunch of kids with more money than they really should have,
Right,
So
yeah.
I ended up jumping ship over to Red 5, and then Red 5, like the few years that I worked there, it was my dream come true. I'm like, I made it. I'm in the industry. I'm talking to people that are titans in the industry, people who have delivered products that I loved, as a kid. Like, this is amazing. And then I started seeing a little cracks in the the veneer, and I started realizing that, like, the entire video game industry is run by morons. Like, nobody, like, they all have more money than brains. They have no business acumen. Like, it's really, like, I think the Japanese have a much better business ethic than the Western markets, mainly because, like, these people, like, they spend money that they don't have on the gamble that their product will be good, and
Right.
it will, recoup that. And like I went to Catalina Island. I was like, that, the Catalina wine mixer or whatever. Like, I went to, like, all these cool places on the company dime for, like, team building exercises. Like, we had T-shirts and all this stuff, like, big old, like, chest pounding, American bravado. We are the, blah blah blah. And it's like, that all costs money that we don't even have a game shipped yet,
Yes. Holy shit.
Yeah, and
No,
we
but
ended up.
when you, for instance, in the beginning, you had the startup, but did you have a game, because you still had to develop the game, right?
Yep,
So
yeah.
So where did the confidence come from that everyone, because a lot of people basically knew, right? They hired you,
Yeah.
hoping that there was something there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I present, because I was working on video game mods, and I was showing
Right.
a mod.
Yeah. You said. Yeah.
I was showing them a mod that I was working on for an acquired from Kazaa version of the leaked source engine from Half-Life 2 before the game was even out.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we're doing a medieval fantasy first-person shooter with swords and magic and stuff. It's going to be awesome. And the Offset guys saw it, and they're like, yeah, we can have you come on board. And they were making something very similar, where it was like, in first person, you shot, and like, you used like bows and arrows and stuff. But like, when you were in third person, that was where like the CQC stuff, like the weapons, the swords and stuff, came in. So it was kind of a cool first person, third person shooter. Had a pretty cool concept too. Like, the working title was Project Offset, but like, I'm fairly certain that wouldn't have flown if it ever went to market. But it was fun working on that. I did narrative elements on that. I did like UI design elements on that, system stuff. I didn't even know if I had an official title. They were just like, yeah, you're a game designer. Like,
All right.
yeah. So you do whatever you need to do. And then when I went over to Red 5, I was more of like a system / UX designer. UX is like your user interface. But I dabbled in other things. At one point, there's this guy, Jeff, who was like a producer over at Epic Games. Awesome guy. Like, I loved working with that guy. He had years of experience, and it showed. And his insights.
Was that the Jeff who left? Like during what was his name? Jeff?
Actually, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember
this Jeff during the whole Overwatch thing, and he left because.
Oh, no, it wasn't that guy. It wasn't that guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this guy was worked on like some of my favorite games like Unreal Tournament 3. He worked on Gears of War, all this stuff, and he's like, dude, why don't you, like, instead of just being like a documentary, like you're just doing like the internal wiki or whatever, because they had this term for me. They would say like, hey, can you Fiskify our designs? I'm like, okay, and basically I just turned all of their boring design documents into cool infographics so that engineers and other people would read it. Because a wall of text, like here's my idea, and it's like 3 pages of text, nobody reads them. But if they see like cool images and they're like, oh, okay, that's how this will work, we had posters up on the wall at one point. Like Jeff's like, why don't you like get into like level design and stuff? Because that's what I did when I was working in the mod stuff. So I did, and he knew, like, I think he kind of had an inkling of some of my capabilities, because like I remember when I submitted a map to Cliffy B, way back in the day, and he destroyed the map, like ripped into it, like utterly. Like if I hadn't gone to art school and been prepared for negative feedback, that would have destroyed me. Like one of my heroes telling me my map was utter crap. So
did he give you like was it constructive?
Did you
learn from that?
Yeah, that's why I to this day will forever appreciate it, is that he destroyed it, but he explained why it was bad and what, like, he's like, I'm not going to tell you this map is completely unsalvageable. Like, there are things you can do to fix this. And then he listed out some bullets. He's like, well, you could try something like this or that or whatever. And I did. And I think the maps were better for it. And, I brought kind of that same, the lessons I learned from those humiliating defeats. I brought them into, the professional field. And I ended up, we're making maps. And yeah, it was one of the favorites at the time. Like, we had this game type. It was like capture the flag, but it was capture the power cell. And you had this like spawn point of a power cell in the middle of the map, and people had to pick it up and carry it over to their base essentially and install it to power and get points for their base. But the other team can grab it, as well. And unfortunately, the thing had a time limit. Once you pull it out of that spawn point, it has like a 30-second time limit, and then it blows up. So you have to get it installed before it blows up. So like we had like I recorded videos of it. People were giving great feedback. People were, even giving, like, that's what I love, is when people are so geeked out with your stuff that they're like, I love this and I'd like to do this too. I'd like to change this just a little bit or change. And it's like, okay, somebody actually is invested in this. This is awesome.
So are there games out there right now that people can see or play or watch that you worked on?
Well, maybe watch. That's kind of I got doxxed early. Was it last year or whatever? It was kind of a sad. It was funny, but it was sad. It was frustrating when I looked at my emails and my voicemail calling me a liar and people hated me and all this stuff. But apparently, I made this post after the infamous Assassin's Creed Shadows game was announced. Yeah. Remember that? Whether they had like the black guy and the lesbian and all that stuff, and I'm like. Ubisoft contracted us out, and we flew out to Japan and lived and worked there and did all sorts of research. Like the team I was on, like there were far better skilled writers than me on that team. We were out there researching. We went to Shinto shrines. We did the whole shebang, Wow. And we got all this information, all this research, and we wrote this narrative or this story for the Assassin's Creed set in the Sengoku Jidai period, which is like the Civil War, the Warring States period of Japan, where Japan became the Japan we know today. And basically, that was my last kind of like vestige of something I could look back on and say I contributed to this industry. Like that's something you can look at and see, because the Offset game never came out. It fizzled and died. They ended up getting acquired. The original startup got acquired by Intel, and then Intel buried them, so the game never came out. And then Red 5 Studios had launched Firefall, and that lasted all of about like 2-3 years, and then all the servers got shut down, so that game's gone. So I don't have anything to show for that. And then when I went and worked at Tryon Worlds, NBC Universal, and we worked on that TV show / video game Defiance, as soon as that like show went off the air and that video game, the service got pulled or whatever, I have a bunch of install discs that, don't install anything anymore because the servers are all shut down. Right. So I have that. So I made this post on Twitter lamenting that the only thing that I had left to show for my work in that industry in the 10 years I wasted in video game development, was the Assassin's Creed Sengoku Jidai period story. So I laid it all out. I was like, this is who the main character was. This is why we chose this. This is why we pursued Shintoism, because it's intrinsic to Japan. There's unmistakable, Shinto is unmistakably Japan. You can't ever be like, oh, well, it's Buddhism or it's Hindu. No, literally that's where it came from. So we did all this stuff, and I wrote this whole thing. And then a bunch of YouTubers reached out to me. Some of them were really cool. Like this guy Endymion, he's like, dude, I can't run a story on my channel with source. Trust me, bro. So he's like, is this legit? I'm like, yeah, it's legit, and all this stuff. So he was cool. There was a couple other people that reached out and they did some pretty cool stuff. But then there was a bunch of YouTubers that I don't know how the hell they got this information, but out of nowhere, I'm looking through YouTube. And suddenly I see this like dude who's like, Chris Fisk, former lead designer on Assassin's Creed Shadows, spills the tea about the project that he worked. I'm like, I was never on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I was never a lead designer by any stretch of the imagination. Like all I had to like set the, clear the room or clear the air, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like these people just took this stuff and just went wild with it. And my email blew up. I don't know, I got doxxed somehow. I'm getting all this like hate thrown at me, like, you're a liar, that never happened, screw you, you racist, and all. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was, I guess that's a very long-winded way of saying if people can see the stuff that I worked on. Unfortunately, I'm a ghost in that industry, dude. The 10 years that I wasted in that, I have nothing to show for it. A bunch of promotional posters, some action figures, and some install discs that lead to nowhere. That's why I left video games.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. It's. But do you actually feel like it's all wasted, or are there still like things that you learned from it?
I think even your bad experiences you learn from. Like, dude, the video game industry actually left me homeless for a while, and I've learned how to dodge cops in the Walmart parking lot at 3 a.m. But no, I mean,
okay,
as far as other like actually work skills or whatever, I mean, I do it all over again, if I could. I mean, now I'm old and sick. I can't do it. But like as a young 20-something, 30-something, I had a blast. I met some really cool people. I met some awful people. Sure. But I think the creative industry always attracts the weirdos. It's just par for the course.
It's true.
Yeah, but if you don't want drama, go into a boring office job.
Look, man, they even have drama in knitting clubs. So
she got stabbed by the knitting needles. No, but it's just I mean, it's a very rough ride, and I honestly wouldn't I wouldn't suggest people ever to go in the video game industry. Like, I think indie is a better approach, because like have a job, like a day job to substantiate yourself, to pay the bills. And then as a side project, work on, like a garage game or whatever, work on something where you're building something indie with people that you can trust, or, your small group of friends, or even by yourself, Mojang there, Yeah,
absolutely. Right. Let me go through the chat for a moment. Some people came in. Let me see. Well, Chris, you remember Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut crusading that eventually led to ESRB
Oh yeah,
rating system.
yeah. It's frustrating that the industry created the Entertainment Software's Rating Bureau, or ESRB, to label games so that parents would know, hey, don't give your 5-year-old Grand Theft Auto.
Sure.
But unfortunately, you can't make anything idiot proof. They'll always build a bitter idiot. And we are seeing, like negligent parents giving their 6-year-olds, well, their friends have it, so they can have it too.
Yeah,
and it's like, you defeated the whole purpose of us, because basically the ESRB was created so that we could self-police instead of having the government crack down on us.
Yes. My 6-year-old is a genius. So. Let me see. I know how you feel about the game, sir. I own 10 old console systems with libraries past collecting, awaiting me to stop reading enough in my future old age to play through.
Nice.
Yeah, the older games, man. That's where usually the fun is.
Hell yeah.
Welcome, Gordon Good brother. Welcome, sir. Let me see the people talking. So let me see if I 2 books in, and there's already so much to this campaign. Yeah, we need to go to the campaign. I could talk about this for hours, Chris. This is really interesting. But we need to take a look at your campaign. London Gothic is also with us today.
Hey.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Nice. Love that series.
Mike says it's the standee of Aislinn that was the very first image I ever saw of Infinitale Chronicles, and what an eye-catching image it is.
Ooh. Thanks.
Beautiful art. Let me see. Let me see if I missed anything. Frederick Guimont. Welcome, sir.
Hey.
Welcome, Frederick. Then we have, negative feedback. Yeah, Thibaut is here with us. Chris has a broad experience now, subterfuge and evasion of an army of Paul Blart.
Paul Blart, the mall cop.
Yeah.
He's gonna get chasing me on those little segways.
I have listened to an interview or 2 from a knitting club member about such madness. It's everywhere. It's spreading like crazy. It's crazy. Right. Sorry, guys. We have to go to the campaign. So, Ryu is also here. Welcome, Ryu. Nice to see you, sir. All right, let's bring up your campaign, because you have something wonderful to talk about, to show us today. And it's called, let me see. Let me go to the Indiegogo page. And then we have to, like, this it, and then we add it to the stage. There we go.
Boom.
Here it is. Infinitale Chronicles, The War of the Trees, number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Excellente. Fantastic. Shall we start with the trailer?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Knowledge is like a seed. When sown in fertile minds, it opens doors to new possibilities. Truth, once buried by the ages, is again revealed. The unimaginable becomes demystified. New wonders are discovered that transcend the limitations of previous understanding. However, some doors should never be opened. Our tale continues with the divergent paths of our heroes. As a naive king toils with ancient powers beyond his control, a grieving queen makes a fateful decision that forever changes their world. Infinitale Chronicles, the War of the Trees.
Nice.
Sweet.
Sweet. That's a good looking trailer.
Well, thanks.
Let me refresh that quickly. Right. You now you reached the goal. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
89 backers. All right, guys. Who will be backer 90? Guys, if you back today, please let us know in the chat so we can have a little celebration. Really cool. So the adventure continues with multiple editions in this second installment of the epic fantasy saga. So this is one like book of a ongoing story or a bigger story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this it's called Infinitale Chronicles, you know, a whole portmanteau of infinite and tale mashed together like EverQuest or Never Ending Story. It started off as a role-playing game that I had created back in the early, like 1990. I was like 12 years old, and we didn't have Google, so the Pelham Public Library, where this was born, was my source of all the information. We looked into various mythologies. Was it the Kalevala from Finland, the Snorri Sturluson's Walsung saga, the Tua Dudanen, the Irish mythologies, you know, all sorts of stuff. And when I originally created it, it was like this massive saga, and we winnowed it down to about a 10-book series. Did some choppy, got the first book out at 54 pages, and now the second book is 120 pages.
That's crazy. That's excellent. But it first was a game. So was it a tabletop game, or was it something you created from scratch?
Oh yeah, it was a tabletop game that I was too poor to keep up with all the Dungeons and Dragons editions. Like I was halfway through the 2.5 into 3, and I couldn't afford the books. So I started making up my own stuff. And again, using the library as my resource center, I ended up building my own tabletop role-playing game. And I used all the local kids as guinea pigs to test it.
Right. Mike says, I was just going to mention that this series does not bear a litigious title, unlike the falsely dubbed Never Ending Story.
It totally ends. I saw credits.
Wait. Let's see. Martin Stevenson. Welcome, sir. Welcome. We have Josh Perry. Welcome, Josh.
Hey.
Nice to see you all. Right. So today we are taking a look at Infinitale Chronicles, book 2. Of how many books?
We're planning on having 10 books.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Whoa! Holy shit, man. So what's the are you the artist or the writer? What's the team, the creative team like?
So I'm the writer, and I also do like all the campaign page stuff. So the graphic design. I did some coloring stuff. Did some printing. Did all the package design, all the branding. I think my art days are over. About halfway through book 1, I ended up getting something called peripheral nerve damage in my hands. So I basically have 2 kung fu grip hands that don't really work all that well anymore. But I'm able to do my job. I just can't be the artist I was when I was young and naive.
Oh, man, that sucks. How did that happen? It just happened, or?
Let's just say that genetics aren't always in our favor. It was basically it was an autoimmune disease. So.
Oh man, sorry to hear that, man. It's good. It's good that you still can do what you love, right?
Yeah.
Make these beautiful things. It hasn't stopped you from look at these maps and this art, and it looks fantastic.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we got 3 books here. So there's the standard edition, which if you backed the first book or read the first book, this is done by the original art team, the Western style comic book. And then I ended up reaching out to the Barbusco Studios, husband and wife team, Eduardo and Mika, and we did the alternate art edition. So it's the same story. They got the same script. It's just their artistic version of it. It's more painterly, more bande dessinée, like the kind of the European style. It's not formatted to the A4.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So you gave like different artists the same script.
Yep.
Just so why?
Well, so in the first campaign, after it was fulfilled, we sent out a survey, and we got some negative feedback on some of the art. It didn't match the promotional art. There's some inconsistencies, blah blah blah, whatever. And I provided that feedback to the original team, and after some, there was some unhappy reception, but they agreed, like, yeah, we should probably match that stuff. So I got feedback on that, and it was taking a while, and I was like, I can't have I'm not going to be alive if I want to, by the time the 10th book comes out, if it's going to take like 3 years for every book. So while they were working on that, I was talking with a couple of my friends, Nerium and Red and all them, and the Barbuscos came up, and I reached out to them, and they're like, yeah, dude, we can get your book in a year. And they did. So yeah, we have those two examples. Again, one is more storybook, painterly. That's the alternate art version. The other is your traditional comic book style that you got from the first book. And then a third edition, the manga edition, or Jumoku no Taisen Volume 1, is that's it reads right to left, so it's the whole backwards anime. It's in black and white. Yep. And Antonio Brandeo, who is the inker and the layout and the penciler and all that stuff in the first book, or the standard edition, he did the inking in the manga edition. And it's not just a mirrored book. Like there's actual new pages. There's some things that have been touched up quite a bit. Antonio actually returned and helped add new pages and stuff. So yeah, the manga edition is a complete, like, in its own right book, and it's 180 pages in black and white, and it's both books 1 and 2.
Wow. So you also flipped the pages in like mirror image?
Not really. We actually redrew some of them, moved things around. Like it's a whole new book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Wow, impressive.
Well, yeah, it's an experiment too, because I'm obviously not going to make a habit of doing this for every campaign. The idea is that I want to do this as democratically as possible. I want whichever of the 3 books gets backed the most, that'll be the future of the series moving forward, or at least that style. Either traditional Western, the bande dessinée style, or the manga style.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Interesting to see it in various styles, man. That's really cool. Mike says you may no longer be a kung fu fighting, but Chris, your wits are still as fast as lightning. Yeah. William, welcome, William.
Hey.
Welcome. All right, colors, nice. Easlin likes the colors.
Ooh.
10 books says. Wait, sorry guys. 10 books says Mike is an epic worthy of this license.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
There's the scorecard.
Oh, the scorecard.
Yeah, if you scroll up, you'll see. Yeah, right there. See, standard edition, 74 books have been backed, 52 of the alternate art, and 53 of the manga. So right now, standard edition is in the lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's really cool that people can. That's a lot of work to update.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a script, and there's a batch file in Photoshop, so it just basically opens it up on my dummy terminal and says, "Oh, add more."
Wow, that's fantastic. So this is like what do you call it? High fantasy. So
oh yeah. This is, and here's the thing: is the story is kind of agnostic to the genre. This story is, I've had people read it and go, "Wow, you have a very, very poignant view of our governments," or, "Wow, that sounds like an abusive relationship," or, something. But like, you could get something out of this, even if you're not a fan of the, as some person called it, the British cigarette elves. And if you're wondering where the interior pages examples are, I'm a backer too, and I am a firm believer in trying before you buy. If you see that nice little button there on all 3 of those cards, you can click it, and it will bring you to a free 15-page preview of that book version. and you can download the PDF, so you don't need to be beholden to the browser.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
This is what you mean with the total experience, right?
Oh yeah.
It goes beyond the book. It's the entire campaign. So really cool.
Yeah.
Guys,
No
you can check it out.
surprises.
I won't open it here, but people can check it out. The link is pinned in the chat. It's in the description, guys. So go find it, go click it, go share it.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful art, wonderful layout.
Oh, thanks.
What's this? This is special. Oh,
Yeah, this
bundle.
Yeah, so we're offering bundles in this for convenience, and you get a little bit of a discount. So we have one bundle where we offer the the standard and the alternate art edition books together in a nice slipcase with a piece by Clark Oclesa there, that bluish purple image, and then you get a little bit of a discount there. Then there's what we're seeing here right now, the ultimate bundle, which is everything that the campaign 2 or book 2 stuff offers. So you basically get a nice store folio that's got like vinyl stickers ironed into them, where you can swap out the cover, and it's got the magnet clasp. So it's a nice collector box. If you're, especially if you already have the previous book 1 stuff, you can throw all the books into there. There's also a canvas map, 16 by 20 inch, the manga edition, pair of trading cards, and hold on. Sorry, I didn't want to cough. And then what is it? Oh yeah, and the acrylic magnets, which are done by this awesome pixel artist, Nicotine Fist, where he recreated all of the heroes for book 2. He created them in 16-bit character sprites, like harkening back to like Mega Drive games like Shining Force and stuff.
Right.
So they're included as well.
Wow. Wow, really, really cool. Solion, he says, find it, click it, share it, back it. And then with the link, yes, guys, go find it, click it. Wow, a lot of stuff. So a lot of, oh, cool. You even have some.
Yeah, so that's from Welsh mythology. That's a water leaper. I can't even pretend to pronounce the Welsh name for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to print it out in vinyl, and I can't be held responsible if this thing gives side effects. But if you can see in that photo, that thing is bright. Like it's illuminating my hand in the dark.
It gotta be healthy. Yeah. Really cool, man. Wow.
Yeah, here's an 8-inch statue. It's a part of a painter's kit. This is the character Nessa, who's further explored in this book. And she comes pre-primed, and she has all of the art materials needed to paint her. So she comes with the paints, the brushes, the clear varnish, the mixing palette. Yeah.
Holy shit. So you will send people a complete package so they can start painting.
Yeah, you get a whole art kit there. And there's even a little mixing guide to show you if you want to paint by number and get her to paint to look like,
that is crazy.
Sweet.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's the painter's guide. Yeah.
Look at this. Holy shit.
Did my little fiskification there.
I've never seen anything like this before on a campaign. That's really cool.
Sweet. And then there's the canvas wall map. Obviously, I took some artistic liberties.
So you made this? You drew this, or
That's that was the world map for the elfin world of Esperia on the continent of Foithla. And I unfortunately when I was working on this
continent of Foithla.
Yep. It's unfortunately Welsh and Irish do very horrible injustices to the Roman alphabet. So like I've had people go, okay, that's Tir Y Godin or whatever, and it's like, no, that's Tir Gothen, and that means the land of the tree.
Yes.
So it's very Celtic inspired, and it's cool because this is just the elfin world. In the actual game, we learn, because these graphic novels are like a historical primer to the actual tabletop game, and we learned that there's some terrible stuff that happens on this world because of the War of the Trees, which is this rebellion of the elves against the gods, these giant Fomorian creatures, the Fovera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks fantastic, man. Absolutely cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, really good. There's a lot to see.
Oh yeah.
You have some cards. People can collect cards also.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the little character cards. You get one of those. The possibility of getting one of these hollow foil cards in that pack of 10 cards. If you back the 10 card set, these 19 through 31 are possibilities of one of those cards, so they're rare. Whereas these are guaranteed cards, 12 through 22.
All right. So each pack has these cards that you see right here.
No, they have they have all the cards in the 10 above. So if you scroll up, it has all of those guaranteed. So you get the 4 character cards, you get the book cover cards, and then if you scroll down, there's a possibility that one of these hollow foil cards, and it might not be in here, but if it is, it could be one of these 10. And on the back, it's got like magic runes or like different story elements. So it's kind of a it's got some randomness to it.
Wow, really cool.
Sweet. And here's Nerium's. This was the original fan art that she sent me, and I colorized it and made it into a 5x7 hollow foil card.
Oh yeah.
This was originally a giveaway during the social media blitz that I had back in like 2021 when I was building the X account. After 1,000 followers, or every 1,000 followers, I would DM people that were following me and be like, "Hey, you want a free card?" And I'd send it to them. But if that contest is obviously over, but for the people who missed out and they want to complete their collections or whatever, they can grab it on this campaign.
Right.
Oh,
beautiful, man.
Thanks. Yeah, here are the 16-bit sprites. They're all on acrylic magnets, and I kind of overdid it on this one, and I think people will like it. It's I used rare earth magnets, and I thought I had telekinesis when I was assembling these things because I'm putting them together, and 6 feet away things are moving.
Really?
These magnets are so strong that you could hang like a book basically, or a notebook or something. Like that's how tough these things are. Like a folded CVS receipt could be like sustained by these magnets.
Wow. Well, you can't even ship them. They will like mess up the machine. Yeah. At customs.
There's the store folio. You got an interior image. Yeah, got the map, and then the cover can get swapped out.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
This is all professional. Really professional looking.
Thanks.
Digital, which is great. Yeah. People can back digital. They can support you.
Yeah, it's only $5 USD for the digital. If you get all 3 of them, that's $12. You get a little bit of a deal.
Great. That's great.
Sweet.
Legacy.
Yeah, some legacy add-ons. These were some leftover perks or products that I had from the first campaign. We have the alternate cover. So it's not an alternate book. It's just the alt cover or variant cover for book 1. We have 2 of them. We have the one here by Michelle Hefner and the other one by Genzo Man. We no longer have any standard edition covers. They no longer exist. They ran out of print and they are not being reprinted. And this is first print edition. So the version you can get on Amazon is a second print, which has a lot of edits and changes. So
okay, so edits and changes. So does that mean that there are some like grammar things?
There's a little bit of wording change. There's some art changes. And in fact, the way Amazon handles their printing, they don't allow interior cover printing. So things had to get removed around, and there's like a thank you page to all the backers on it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sad to report that I cannot offer this outside of the United States because I am a firm believer in no folding posters. I don't fold large posters. I always have them in rigid tubes. And this poster is too large, 19 inches by 27 inches, to put in a box. So when I ship out the tube, I get nailed with all of these non-standard box size, non-stackable, and all this stuff. And I can't, in good conscience, charge what they're charging me for shipping to people outside of the United States. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys.
Well, yeah, that's understandable. The Aislinn standee. Oh, this is what Mike was talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so on the first campaign, we had a Kaelin standee. So her king consort husband, the guy with the red hair and the spear, and it was a free stretch goal add-on, and we ran out of those. And while we were in demand, I printed out, instead of the Kaelin one, I printed out Queen Aisling here, and I have some left over. So I thought, rather than just letting them linger on my shelves, I thought, what the heck, I'll put them on the campaign as well for people who missed out.
Yeah. Wow. So much to choose from. Oh, this is also beautiful.
Yep, that was also a free stretch goal from the previous campaign. MR Gun Arts 5x7 holofoil card of Aisling here looking at the blue wisp from the first book. If you want, it's available here. I for the people that missed out on that first campaign, I have some limited quantities left over.
Excellent. Really cool. Right.
And this is to prove that the books are finished. They're printed. I have them in my hand. I'm not selling an idea. I'm selling a product. I have proofs of concept here. You're not going to have to wait years. You're not going to have to wait, an exorbitant amount of time after you give me your money. Like I'm a firm believer in when somebody gives me their money, I'm on the hook to deliver. So I make sure that I have a product in hand before I say, hey, give me money.
Well, yeah, it's weird that we even have to mention that nowadays.
I know.
Of course, we're delivering. That's the deal. But there are nowadays packaging, even packaging. So you show everything, the entire process.
Yep. That's what you should expect in the mail. If you spend $25 or more, you'll get the small box. If you back the Ultimate Edition or got a whole bunch of stuff, you'll get the big box. And it's wrapped in a nice vinyl mailer, so it's pretty much watertight. But yeah, part of that experience.
Fantastic. Stretch goals, right?
Yeah. So these are the 3 stretch goals that have been met. All 3 of these are going to be given for free. So the first one, stretch goal, is a double-sided spot UV bookmark, where on one side it's got that cool Clark O'Clesia picture of Queen Aisling, and then on the back it's got the language of the dragons, the ancient language that it's briefly spoken throughout the books, and you're not going to miss out on the story if you don't understand what's being said or what's written down. But you can use this to translate it. The whole "be sure to drink your Ovaltine" kind of thing. That second tier there, the one at 3,000, that is the black and white 40-page book 3 preview done by Nerium, and I love her cover there. It's an homage to Warcraft. Where it's got the orcs versus humans, but in this case, it's the Carnudi versus the Elfar. So, and then the third stretch goal is basically it's an ash can. It's a mini art book. I can't divulge the pages yet because they're in flux, meaning that if we get to the 4th stretch goal, which enlarges the book to a standard comic book size, I'll add more pages. But basically, it's a love letter to all of the artists that contributed to it, including fan arts.
Fantastic. Wow. A lot of stuff going on. Guys, you can check out this campaign. The link is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. We have 89 backers right now. Let me refresh. 89 backers, guys. Let's get some more eyes on this campaign. So go share it out. Spread it through social media. Tell everyone you must know some people who either like comics or fantasy or both, right? So let's make this big, guys. Infinitale Chronicles. It looks fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
It looks absolutely fantastic. Right. Stop the screen.
Yeah.
Stop the screen. I wasn't aware of Sunsworn work. I have choices to sort out here. How much can I bear to splurge?
Yes.
Ian says, Chris Fisk, I like how you used printer colors to point out that one stretch goal is in black and white and the other in color.
Oh, thanks. A little infographic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was your entire thing, right? Infographics. Right. All right. That was great. Chris. Thank you for showing that. And
thanks for having me on, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. You have 31 days left, so plenty of time to double this this amount.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Splurge, says
Yes!
Gordon, Big Brother.
Do it. Do it.
Hashtag Fiskified.
Oh, yeah.
This has been enjoyable. Yes, guys, we're not quite done. Before we close, I promised at the beginning of this stream that I would show you guys the finished cover of Perfect 10 Book 6. So issue 6. We're working on it right now. And the cover is finished. So I wanted to share that with you guys before I go share it on social media in a few days, you know. So let's go. Let's present it. Let's share the screen. This is of course drawn by Pau.
Oh yeah.
And colored by Daniel, the Perfect 10 team. And it's, let me see, the window. I have to go to this window right here and show it. There we go. And then add to stage. There we go, guys. This is the cover.
Whoa, nice.
Woo!
Look at that hair.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? It's crazy. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So, yeah, the entire gang. So we have the main gal, and then we have like another. She was kind of popular. She was becoming popular, you know. So and we listen to people. So if people give us feedback, what they like, what they don't like, we lean into what people like. So yeah. My girl Wisp, says Mike. Yes. You could knock someone out with that side boob.
I would not complain.
More spoilers like the Safeguard cover teases. Yeah. Gordon likes it also. Pau delivers again. Yes, he does.
Man. Yeah, I love Pau's work. Love it much. I'm even using it on some of my stuff.
Yeah. You have one. Is that a print, by the way? Can people get that through your campaign?
So the one in the backdrop here, we have a Vashling that Pau did that I colored.
Yeah.
That was only available for the first 7 days of the campaign as an early bird perk.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was a free add-on. But there is a holofoil card in that collector or the Series 2 pack. There's a likelihood you could get one of Pau's. He did a drawing of Nessa, who is that fawn, that goat girl. So there is a likelihood you can get that from him.
Oh,
so, yeah, I'm a big fan of his work, man. So yeah, any chance to show that off.
Mike says, "What is Diabolique doing with Safeguard? Where's Frontrunner? Questions, guys." So let's stop sharing.
Oh, that looks awesome, man.
Wow. Yeah, and it's the story is great. Everything's great. This is the final issue, and guys. Anyway, Chris, thank you again for being my guest for today.
Awesome.
Good luck with your campaign, sir.
Thanks.
Do you have some other streams planned? Do you have some other shows coming up?
So I'm on. I think Tuesday night I'm on Catch the Craze with Sam and I think George. And then I think I might be on with. Sorry if I'm slow on this. It's a Sunday. I think in July I'll be on Flip City on the 3rd, and then Andy Smith on the 9th, and then Pete Samedi on the 10th.
Wow! All right, all the cool guys. Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Like, share, and sub. Thank you, Sol, for sharing the link today. For sharing the links. Sorry, guys. Good show. Thank you so much. Sub, says Mike. Chat, thank you all for being here today. Thank you. And if you watched from the replay, thank you so much. If you liked this show, this conversation, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I'll be back, of course, next Sunday. So next week, new guest. So same channel, same time, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye all.
Bye.